welcome back to another episode of the MindSets podcast, episode 93. What's the fun fact about 93 this week, Charles?
I came with no fun facts to do with numbers because I feel like all of the listeners hated it last time.
I don't know where you got that feedback from. I was so excited this week.
Like, I've tuned in to listen about sport and all you've done is talk about prime numbers.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, let's get into the news then. So should we start a timer? Welcome back, everybody. We're diving straight in because this could be an episode that we have to really try to keep down.
Angus is clearly on a tight schedule today.
Okay, so we're going to start off in 3, 2, 1. This week, Formula One, we were in Spain and Hamilton is back.
He is.
Ferrari got the win, followed by Russell and Norris. We actually saw Kimi Antonelli also having a dominating drive, but then car stopped working.
Yeah, it was tough for him. Shame.
Not ideal. Then we don't know if we missed this last episode or not, but there is a new hurdles 110 meter world record. It was 12.75 seconds set by Auburn being the college, Jacoby Tharp. He's 20 years old.
Yeah.
And he just seemed to do it on like a random event.
Out of nowhere.
Absolutely nowhere. So that's crazy. Your turn.
So UFC 250, you may have seen lots of publicity around this, the kind of like the freedom event, which was held on, I think it was like the South Lawn of the White House, which was kind of mental. But the main card was Justin Gaethje versus Iliad Topuria. Topuria was, I think he was the favorite going into it. I think people had predicted a first round knockout. Justin Gaethje battered him. And something I've never seen before, at the end of the fourth round, they both went to sit down. Topuria sat down and said, "I'm done." It wasn't even like a knockout. They didn't go the full way. He was just like, "I'm done." After the third round, he called for the doctor, and the doctor was like, "You need to stop it." And then he was like, "Actually, I'll continue." It was all a bit wild, but yeah, he sat down and he was like, "Yeah, I'm done."
Wow.
Which, yeah, really, really mental.
Fair.
Then we go Gallagher Prem, hence why I'm wearing the Saints jersey.
Full kit wank.
Yeah, up the Saints. Saints beat Tigers in the semi-finals, and then surprisingly Exeter beat Bath in the semis. So this Saturday coming, we've got the Prem final, Saints versus the Chiefs at the Allianz, which is going to be an exciting one. And then this one I just saw, the Carolina Hurricanes from the NHL. They won the Stanley Cup for the first time in 20 years, beating Las Vegas's Golden Knights in Las Vegas.
Well, there you go. The next thing that happened over in the States, New York Knicks.
This was a big one.
They won the NBA championship. First time in over 50 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Beating the San Antonio Spurs. New York has looked like a movie scene,
hasn't it? Yeah.
Since
yeah.
It's actually really cool. Like if there's a city to win, New York looks cool.
Yeah. Have you seen all of the interviews of people being like, "How much did you pay for your NBA tickets?"
No.
Silly money.
Yeah, I
like,
can imagine.
And people being like in the street, they're like, "How much did you pay?" And they're like, "Well, it was actually 60 grand." And they're like right at the top with the worst view. And they're like, "How did you afford it?" And they're like, "It doesn't matter. This is like this is the best day of my life as a New Yorker," which is crazy.
That's pretty
and then Emma Raducanu, she got to the Queen's finals. Unfortunately, she lost straight sets. She lost in the tiebreak in the second set. But very promising ahead of Wimbledon. It's nice to see her back playing some good tennis,
especially on grass.
Yeah, some promising tennis, which is really, really cool. Do you want to tackle the World Cup games?
Yeah, we can absolutely do that. So we've got
quite
at the point of recording for everybody, because I'm aware there's obviously that lag.
Yeah.
We've only had 12 games so far.
Mm-hmm.
So if we work through, on the very first day we had Mexico, they beat South Africa 2-0. We then had South Korea beat Czechia 2-1. We then had Canada tying with Bosnia and Herzegovina 1-1. We then had United States, the home favourites.
Home favourites, yeah.
They beat Paraguay 4-1. It's actually a very good win.
Yeah.
Qatar drew 1-1 with Switzerland. Brazil 1-1 with Morocco. Haiti lost to Scotland 1-0. Scotland after a flyer. Australia 2-0 against Turkey. Germany 7-1.
Yeah.
7-1.
It just shows, yeah.
Ivory Coast 1-0 against Ecuador. Netherlands drew with Japan.
Yeah.
Japan came back from 2-0 down in that one. And Sweden beat Tunisia 5-1.
There's a few surprise results in there, like the Brazil, Morocco. But Morocco are good, I guess. Did they win the Africa Cup of Nations? I think they did. It was their first home nation. So they've got a good team. But yeah, I mean, there's some fixtures there which are, I don't know how to explain them, but they're like so uninteresting.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of the World Cup. You can just stick those on and find some sort of interesting thing about them.
If they're losing 7-1, come on, in the group stages,
tough.
it's tough.
But yeah, World Cup's off to a great start. England are playing Croatia. In theory, the podcast, if you're listening to this on Wednesday, you're watching it today. If you're listening to this any other day, England have played.
Yeah.
That's actually probably going to be a really hard game.
Yeah. It always is, isn't it, against Croatia?
We always get Croatia.
Yeah, it's always.
What is that
Yeah, I don't know.
Crazy. Anyway.
But what's the timings as well? The time difference is so difficult to watch any games. You're watching I'll watch one game at like 8 p.m. and then if you want to stay up and watch Scotland play at 2 a.m.
England in the Croatia game kick off at 9 p.m. It's quite late.
It's late, but
Especially
it's probably
in
doable.
Stockholm. So it's 10 p.m. for me, which is tough.
Yeah.
Why am I in Stockholm? Well, here you are.
Oh.
Wow. Well, first of all, the news we spent about 4 minutes doing, but I don't think that's too bad.
I'll take responsibility for a little bit.
That's fine. But yeah, why am I in Stockholm? Well, it's the Hyrox World Championships this year.
Very exciting.
Pretty crazy.
I can't believe how quickly that's come around.
I know, neither can I, and it's quite scary.
Yeah.
But with that, there's going to be 3 elite races that we need to talk about and do our predictions on. But before we can even get into that, something has plagued social media space.
Yeah.
More so our social media space. The question was pretty simple.
Yeah.
Was CrossFit versus Hyrox.
Yeah.
If you take an elite CrossFitter and give them 1 year, do they do better than an elite Hyrox athlete? Versus you take the elite Hyrox athlete and you give them 1 year to do CrossFit. Who's better on the other one?
I've been excited for this episode for so long, Angus.
Well, can I give my answer for now?
You may, yeah.
Absolutely, the CrossFit athlete is better at Hyrox than the Hyrox athlete is at CrossFit. And I believe you're pretty confident in the same thinking.
There's so many layers, though.
There are.
I think at face
blanket.
At face value, I'm gonna say yeah. It's just like I need to know all of the parameters, and that's the difficult thing. And we've got a couple of examples and a couple of case studies where Hyroxers have taken on CrossFit and vice versa. So it'd be interesting to see the difference. But the overriding kind of analysis is that the CrossFitters are much more capable because they're moving from a very high skill domain into a very low skill accessible domain. And as a result, it's very easy. And the way I describe it, and I've been defending Hyrox to CrossFitters for the last like 3-4 years.
And I've got no reason to say that CrossFit.
Not at all. Not at all. But what I would say is if Hyrox had never been invented and you'd come to one of my CrossFit classes and I'd programmed a 60-minute workout and there'd been some running and some sled pull and some sled push and then we'd done some skio, we'd created basically something that looks very similar to Hyrox. You wouldn't have gone, this isn't CrossFit. In essence, Hyrox is a CrossFit workout. And the best thing about that is that wall balls were invented by CrossFitters. And that's why there was so much disdain from the CrossFit community towards Hyroxers, because there was so little standardization with the movement. There was poor judging, and it kind of went against the methodology of CrossFitters and inherently what they train for and why they train. So that's kind of like why I think CrossFitters started to dislike Hyroxers. It wasn't because, oh, I can't do Hyrox, it's too hard, there's too much running for me. It's because you've stolen our movements. You've taken our movements and then you're trying to make them your own, but you're not doing them as well as we do them.
And you're claiming that you're better than us.
Yes. Yeah. So I think like the easiest thing to do, because this all came from a reel, I think was circulating on Instagram, where it upset all of the Hyroxers I know. But they're coming from a space of, I know Hyrox, and I appreciate Hyrox and the top level Hyrox athletes have incredible capacity, and I'd never take that away from them. But it's coming from a very Hyrox specific mindset without knowing anything about CrossFit really. And then just looking at CrossFit and going, well, actually that's easy. If you have good aerobic capacity, then you can go to CrossFit and apply that. And it's not the case. CrossFit, you need much more strength, absolute strength, as well as muscular strength, endurance, but then you also need all of the skill development. And I use the easy example, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying this, but we used Charlie Botterill. When he last came on the podcast, it was in and around the time of the CrossFit Open. He had come, I think, 5th in the UK.
I think it was 4th.
4th or 5th in the UK at the first open workout, which absolutely battered my score because he has so much aerobic capacity. But what was the workout? It was wall balls and box step overs. Take nothing away from him. Incredible performance. But then you come to the second workout and the workout finishes with ring muscle ups. I saw a video of Jake Williamson do it. I don't know if Charlie even attempted it.
Don't know if he did.
But it's like, it might have been around when he was racing anyway.
Glasgow,
Yeah, so it's like probably chose not to do it. But the reason why I can beat them in that workout isn't because I'm fitter than them, isn't necessarily because I'm stronger than them. It's because I've had years and years and years of developing a gymnastics skill, one of the highest like skill demand movements that we do in CrossFit, and I can do it, and I can do it under fatigue. It's like that's nothing to do with my capacity, it's skill. So if you give someone a year, they can probably learn how to do a ring muscle up, especially some top level Hyroxers who already have that aerobic base and probably are very athletic and have good proprioception and body awareness. You can put them into that environment and teach them how to do the movement. Will they be as good as someone who's been doing it since they're a kid or since they were teens? It's still a no. So
there's another element to this that I think is really key, which is the thought of training for something in particular. So if we made this easier for the Hyrox athlete, and we said, you're not going to turn up in a year to the CrossFit Games with unprescribed workouts and have to just be able to do
yeah.
Let's say, okay, we're going to give you standard movements that you could see in a CrossFit gym that you walk into every time. We're going to tell you what the workout is a year from now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's fair. I think that parameter's fair.
Yeah, so we've made it slightly easier though, by doing that. And now I say, okay, so we're going to start off with a clean and jerk. Okay, we're then going to do ring muscle ups. We're then going to do some rope climbs. We're then going to do some handstand push-ups or walks.
Yeah, handstand walks, you could.
Okay, and then, yeah, we might throw in a 5K run and maybe box step overs or something like that as well, okay? So first of all, for you to be considered elite in the clean and jerk, you would say, as a guy, you're probably doing 150 plus.
At the top level, I'd say if you're not 150, you're probably not in the conversation. Like some of the top guys, I was going to reference Willie George, who's got a good crossover to Hyrox as well. He'll clean and jerk like 180. Matt Fraser's probably the same. Like the top guys are lifting that heavy, Guy Malahiros, that kind of thing. So it's like 180 kg.
Cool. So if I give Alex Ronkovic, Hunter McIntyre, any of those guys that are, you'd look at and you'd go, they look strong.
Yeah.
Okay. If I gave them a year to clean and jerk that weight one time, I don't think they could do that. So they can't do that
because that's a blend. Like they might be able to get the strength to be able to do it, but refining the technique to do it, they'd probably get. I don't want to discredit them.
No.
Because they're obviously phenomenal athletes, and Hunter's actually been to the CrossFit Games, I think, in and around 2019, 2018, 2019, that kind of era. And Ronkovic, like, he's notoriously strong on the sleds. Like, I'd imagine his pulling strength off the floor is quite good. I'd be interested to know what his max deadlift is. But you know what? Like, I don't think his max deadlift's going to be much over 180.
No.
And if you can't max deadlift like 220 probably, then you're not clean and jerking 180. And it's like, that's even just eradicating the skill stuff.
And that's also, we're giving them complete credit in that there's no difficulty through injury or
skill issue. You've actually just got a year of
progression.
Practice. Yeah.
And like realistically, if I asked most of the Hyrox athletes I know to go and do a clean and jerk, they'd have to start at the bar. Lift the bar. Only start with a rod. Just to get the body moving. Because one of the things that I have learned since I have been training Hyrox more so is that my lateral mobility is crap.
Yeah.
Because everything is in a straight line. I push the sleds forward, I jump forward on a burpee ball jump, I lunge forward, wall balls are in a straight line. All of a sudden, my lateral strength in my hips and everything like that has dropped off as a fault of me and my training, I'd assume. But like, because everything is more dominant in that linear part of my movement. So then all of a sudden you ask me to go and do a clean and jerk where you don't necessarily, you obviously don't ideally move laterally, but you have the stability to be able to catch it, to be able to then drive up, maybe not in an ideal position.
I mean, like, if we break it down, like, I don't know how many of the top Hyroxers are using front squats as one of their go-to compound movements, but I'm sure a few of them will. But I'm sure the preference would be on back squatting, and then maybe some single leg variation of like a split squat or a lunge, that kind of thing, or box squats. And again, it's just like, let's eradicate any sort of like risk of injury in those movements. But front squat, the front rack, especially the position you hold the bar in when you clean and when you front squat, like that's something that will be a little bit more alien to a Hyroxer. But you need that mobility and flexibility through the lat and the shoulder to be able to hold the bar in that position. Like, I'm sure they can front squat. Some of them, when you watch them wall ball, their movement mechanics is actually horrible. And it's like, it's actually surprising that they can be so elite.
Well, I mean, take an example. Hida Veersma.
Yeah.
He knows it, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
actually worked on his wall balls a lot. So his wall ball time is pretty decent. But from a coaching perspective, you'd still look at his wall balls and go, there's so much to be improved here.
Well, you take that step further, like current world champion Tim Veenish, his squat mechanics aren't great, but like he's got the capacity. Like that's the underlying thing. Like his fitness is incredible, and you put him. There's a benchmark workout in CrossFit called Karen, which is 150 wall balls for time. I probably back Tim Veenish against all CrossFitters to go unbroken maybe and push them the whole way. There'll be some top CrossFitters who'll be able to do that unbroken as well, but I would also prefer to watch the CrossFitters' movement mechanics than Tim's movement mechanics. And then also you see Tim on the ergs, also arguably one of the best on both the ski and the row when you look at the stats across all of the majors from the last season. But I don't like watching his row technique. Like it's incredible that he has that ability, and it's just down to his capacity, but he could be so much better if he was more efficient. But yeah, that guy is folding in half, even probably with 100 kg clean and jerk.
For sure.
And like probably not even going to be able to press that overhead, because that's one of the least demanding areas within Hyrox is your ability to press horizontally and vertically. Yes, you've got the wall balls. Maybe you're pressing a little bit of horizontal off the burpees, but other than that, why are you pressing overhead? Like,
is that another question? If we looked at the top 15 male and female CrossFit athletes,
yeah,
if you had to run this experiment, and we're talking like the likes of Nike and Adidas doing their projects, right?
Yeah.
I've given you the keys to this project. Are you gonna, and you're allowed to have all of them, are you gonna take all of them, or are you gonna cherry pick 3 that you think have got the base level of skill to really be able to do it? Would you look more?
What is this taking from Hyrox to CrossFit?
Ways. So like, would you, for example, if you're going to run this experiment, would you even bother taking Tim, or would you just
probably not? No.
Cool. So then,
but then for
CrossFit back to Hyrox, would you be like, actually, they could probably all do it?
They could all do it. That's the thing. Also, like I wrote that as well in my notes. I was like, anyone who's done CrossFit, even if it's for a couple of months, anyone. And this plays into like, and it's a good thing for Hyrox that it is so accessible, but every single person who's done CrossFit for a couple of months can go and do a Hyrox.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's not going to be, in theory, particularly impressive. They might have to walk a little bit, but none of the movements there will they struggle with. They'll be able to do them. But I take someone who's specifically training for Hyrox and I take them into just a general CrossFit class. I look at the programming in my gym for tomorrow. Toes to bar, bang, they already can't do that. We can scale it down and regress it, but if we're talking about the top level of the sport, if I take an elite level Hyroxer, and some of them I see lots of them trying to do a bit of Hyrox training or cross training, they'll be able maybe to do toes to bar, but can they jump up on the bar and do 50 unbroken? And can they do 50 unbroken toes to bar when their core is fatigued from having to carry a yoke which weighs nearly 500 kg? Probably not. So it's like, what Hyrox is developing, especially as the sport evolves, is specificity. Is that a word? I think so.
I never know if it's specificity or specificity.
It was one of them, and
one of those two.
I butchered whatever it was. But they're becoming specialists in one event, whereas CrossFitters aren't specialized. Like their job is to be the jack of all trades, to kind of be able to do everything. So as a result, there's not one thing that they're bad at, but there's also not one thing that they're good at. Naturally, there's biases because of genetic predisposition, that kind of thing. But yeah, so I've been having this discussion with lots of people recently, but I think there's this very quick to judge attitude from a Hyrox perspective, looking at CrossFitters, that they're not good at running. And I think generally their CrossFitters need to be heavier because they have to lift a lot of weights, but there's some athletes with just incredible capacity. And the one person that I'm going to have to look at my notes now, but the one person I pulled up was Jelle Hoster, who's a Belgian athlete, recently come into the scene, probably the last 5-6 years. But in the 2023 CrossFit Games, there was actually one event, and it was like a 5K run, and that was the event, like a cross-country style over grass, undulating. The guy ran 16:39. Like, he's not a sloth. And yes, you probably take every single Elite 15 athlete from the world champs. They can probably run faster than that. But then I also made a note, he can also back squat 220 kg. So like, the guy's a unit.
Yeah.
None of them.
None of
them. And like, I'll put money on that.
Yeah, for sure.
They might be able to develop that strength, but right now, none of them can back squat 220
But right now,
kg.
he can run a 16:39.
Exactly. Yeah, which is incredible. And I've got lots of examples of that, because I think going back to the initial point and the reel that was on Instagram that was circulating, it was talking about the elite level of the sport. And my favorite person to reference is Willy Georges, who's a French athlete. He's been CrossFitting for years and years. I think he's actually retired from professional CrossFit because of shoulder injury and that kind of thing. And that's, again, that speaks volumes about CrossFit. The injury rate will be far higher than in Hyrox. And yes, you will get stress injuries in Hyrox and whatever. But I think the severity of the injury is probably not as high.
Oh, way lower.
So that might also be something to talk about and consider. But Willy Georges, he's kind of flipped and he's become a hybrid athlete. And I shouldn't really inverted commas that, because he is so hybrid. But like I said, at the time he was competing in CrossFit / Olympic weightlifting, he could clean and jerk 180 kg. Like, the guy was strong. So as a result, I'm sure his deadlift numbers are over 200. His back squat numbers are over 200. Like, he's super, super strong. He's now kind of converted across to doing Hyrox. And he ran in his last pro solo race, he ran, I think, 26:29 pro solo.
26.
Sorry, 56:29. Okay. You're like, what are you talking about?
I thought you were talking about running.
56:29.
Yeah. Which
would have placed him 14th at Warsaw, the last majors that we had this season. So he'd have beaten Charlie Botterill in an Elite 15 race. I know, obviously, that's contextually completely wrong, because he's not actually in the racing environment, but it just goes to show that he then has the capacity to race at the elite level. So, you give him another year of focused training, he's probably even better there. And there's so many more names that we can pull. We can pull Tia Claire Toomey, the most successful CrossFit athlete of all time, men and female. And she can step from a CrossFit background straight into Hyrox, having had kids and all the rest of it. And she can race with Joanna and like pull her weight with that. She's also raced with James Newbury. James Newbury at his peak, I think his best ever finish at the CrossFit Games was 5th, 2018, 2019, that kind of time. So he's elite level, one of the best, one of the top 5 in the world. So his capacity across strength, skill, whatever you name it, he can do it. He's also raced in the Elite 15 as men's doubles. He raced, I think you said in Auckland, it was the Elite doubles, ran like a 52 something. So it's like that crossover is very easy. There's only probably one example of the other way around, and it's Hunter McIntyre.
I was going to say, so Hunter, for those that don't know, or that, to be fair, this is the major argument I feel like people kept coming back with, was that in 2021, Hunter McIntyre and his coach did a Murph specific block.
Yeah.
Murph is a workout. I mean, do you want to run through quickly what Murph is?
So Murph, in CrossFit, we have something called a hero workout. But Murph especially has kind of transcended CrossFit, and it bleeds across into the whole of the functional fitness space. So everyone does it every year. But the film Lone Survivor is actually based on Michael Murphy, who was a Navy SEAL who was killed in Afghanistan. But the hero workouts are in memory of a serviceman or man or woman who's died in action. But Murph is a 1 mile run. You then do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and then another mile run. And you do it wearing a weighted vest. And it was a workout that Michael Murphy did in his body armor. That's the reason why, if you have the capacity to do it, you should do it in a weighted vest. But yeah, you were saying he did a specific block, didn't he?
Specific block to get the world record.
Yeah.
He got the world record, which was 34 minutes and 13 seconds.
Doesn't stand anymore.
No, it doesn't. It was actually beaten. I think like 8 months later, in
something like
the
that,
following summer. And yeah, so like that was also, like you said, that was 2 or 3 years after Hunter had actually gone to the CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
So like in his CrossFit era, where realistically I don't know when Hunter officially started doing Hyroxes.
He was an early adopter.
He was an early adopter, so he would have been doing that all around the same time. But at the time, he was also one of the best in Hyrox anyway. So I think his focus was like, this Hyrox thing is cool, but he did Spartan racing, big time. So he was kind of doing all of them, and he was clearly very, very good at CrossFit at the time, best in the world at one particular thing, but best in the world at one particular thing.
Yeah,
and that's kind of where.
Also
Hyrox
that's like
it's
he's earmarked that workout, one, because it's an amazing workout and it's so well renowned, but also like it still plays into his strengths. It's not like
50% running. Really.
Yeah, exactly. And like you can't take away from the fact that doing it in 34 minutes is incredible.
Oh, it's insane.
Alec Blennis, who now currently holds the Murph world record, definitely worth following on Instagram because his content, his educational content is incredible. And like you look at the guy and you go, he's so peeled and he's ready to compete on stage, but he can run like a stupidly fast marathon as well. Like he's very, very what I would consider pinnacle of hybrid. But yeah, Hunter went to the CrossFit Games in 2019. He was actually a wild card. I think actually that's funny. I think 2019 when Hunter went to the games, he finished like 62nd or so. It was a new format of the games where they invited the national champion from all over the world. So you had, I think at the moment it's like the top 40 around the world go and compete. But at the time they had hundreds of athletes come down, but they had a process of elimination. So after the first event, they eliminated a load of people. But it was that year, 2019. That was the year that James Newbury came fifth. Hunter, I think, finished something like 62nd or something like that. But he was given a wild card. So he was online, he was chatting, he was like, I do all of this training, I'm X, Y, and Z, I do Spartan race, I do all of this. If you're scared that I'm better than you as a CrossFitter, because he was giving a lot of chat online about being the fittest person, right? Yeah. So they were like, okay, fine, come down and do it. And shock horror, he's not good enough at all of the different modalities. He's obviously very, very fit, but he wasn't good enough at the CrossFit modalities to be able to come and compete with the top guys.
Yeah, so I think that's people's large sort of argument is, you know, Hunter's one of the best, but he's no longer the best, but he was that good. But now we've got even better athletes at Hyrox, so they'd be even better.
I think the layer on top of that as well is like Hunter is the anomaly. Yeah. Like he's an incredible athlete, but when you look at him now compared to the top Hyroxers, he's hanging on.
Oh,
like he's still in the conversation, but he's not quite at the top, and that's because, as like I said, as Hyrox evolves, it becomes more specific and you need to be better at running. And it's the guys who are better at running who are going to be better at Hyrox, and the guys who are better at running in Hyrox are going to be even worse at CrossFit. So it's like an interesting shift in trend. But
we're starting to see in Hyrox a build start to develop. And in CrossFit, that took time, but there is arguably a CrossFit build now as well. I mean, it's hella muscular. But usually a little bit more stocky, not too much range. Everything that you would think of where strength is a benefit, however, not too stocky that you can't run and you can't do all the aerobic and stuff. Whereas in Hyrox, we're now starting to see people that perform at the very top are typically sort of 6'2" upwards, 6'3" upwards in the men. Even in the women, they're above average height for women.
And super slight, like very small, nothing
very
problem.
Small. Any muscle that's there is put to use.
Yes,
and what we do see in the likes of Alex Ronk is actually a slightly more top-heavy build. Seems to work well for him on some of those stations. You can see why it wouldn't work well on things like burpee broad jumps. But then you've got anomalies in that, like Hidde Veersma, who is generally quite a slight athlete, but he's a big guy and weighs a bunch, but his burpee time is one of the best.
You always have outliers.
Typically, starting to now get this image of like, they're usually pretty lean, they're not overly built, they're somewhat taller than average, and that seems to be the blueprint that we're now heading towards.
I think, and we might link this in the description as well, because WOD Science do so much good analysis on CrossFit versus Hyrox, and whether it's the performance, whether it's the characteristics that make a great athlete in each sport. There's lots of really good articles and good reading on that, so I'd definitely recommend, if you're interested in this debate, go and have a read of that. But really testing my knowledge now, I think the first ever Hyrox World Champs was invite only. And I think they ran on woodways or treadmills.
Yeah, they did.
But I think the invite list was like, who do we consider the fittest people? Who are they inviting? CrossFitters. Sam Briggs, I think one of the most renowned British female athletes, or British athletes of all time in the CrossFit space. She's won the CrossFit Games. She was invited. I'm sure there were heaps of other people. I'm sure Hunter was probably invited as well. And then I think, I don't want to misspeak, but Adam Klink, who was like transitioning from CrossFit into the hybrid space. He now works at Rad and has his own gym, into CrossFit gym in Texas. But like, I think he was invited down. So it's like Hyrox have looked and gone, these are the fittest people. They're CrossFitters. So it's like in itself, that's the debate ender.
Interesting question for you, because I was for work at an event recently in Madrid at a CrossFit Coaches Congress.
Yeah.
And someone was up on stage, someone very well renowned in the CrossFit space, was up on stage and said, you know, if you ask me, when it comes to this whole Hyrox thing, the best way to train for Hyrox is, it would be CrossFit. Would you still agree with that? I also wouldn't agree with that anymore. I would say that if you train like you do, if you train for CrossFit, like you said, you'd be able to do one.
Yeah. It depends
Depending on
what
what
they
level, you'd probably still be pretty
It
good.
depends what they mean.
But yeah.
Was it O'Keefe? Matt O'Keefe. Yeah.
O'Keefe.
Because what I would suggest that he's hinting towards there is like, and like, I know our perception of what a good Hyrox time is completely skewed, but he's looking at that and going like, if you want to run a Hyrox around 70 to 80 minutes, which again, like, that's fine. That's a good time. It's not elite level. And
CrossFit methodology does play towards that.
100% you'll go and do it. And like I say, if you do CrossFit for 6 months, you probably actually go and do a good time. You probably don't have enough running in your legs to be fast. But I think you could adapt. And that's what, so CrossFit is a methodology. It's a training methodology. Hyrox is a sport. So there's no methodology behind how you train for Hyrox. So the best way, if there was a way, would be to train CrossFit, but do a bit of running. And that's kind of how I started. And now I've like lent right the way into Hyrox and gone, well, actually, to be really fit and healthy and good at Hyrox, I don't need to necessarily squat snatch. I don't need to ring muscle up. I don't need to do handstand push-ups. But there's lots of things that I can take from CrossFit and apply. So I don't necessarily agree with him. But as a general exercise methodology and principle, there's nothing better than CrossFit it's general physical preparedness, GPP. It's how you can get someone just prepared for everything and anything. And that's the beauty of CrossFit.
But as much as we're talking about this as if it's somewhat technical, it's really not. Like, if you spend enough time on social media now and you scroll long enough, you'll find random Americans that have discovered football because it's the World Cup in their country, and they do a journey to being a midfielder. It's like, there's actually this one guy.
Yeah, I know exactly who you mean.
And it's like day 27 being a midfielder. And he's like kicking a ball against a wall, practicing his 2 touches. And it's like, yeah, cool. That works for you to learn how to pass a ball against a wall.
Yeah.
All the comments are, get a friend, get out on a field, just start playing.
Yeah.
Like, start doing it and you'll learn so much more than doing all of these specific drills. And I think that is where CrossFit, methodology of CrossFit, is super, super beneficial to those that are newer to Hyrox, because in actual fact, it gets you out doing these movements, rather than if you get pinned down because you decide you want to do Hyrox and doing these specific interval sessions because Tim has put this on his Instagram story.
Sure.
That's not going to make you better at Hyrox as much as going and learning how to move your body and doing the strength training through overhead squats and stuff like that, which is going to help you feel wobbles. It plays in. You don't have to be doing 400 wobbles a week. I think that's where people do get a little bit confused and not understand that the methodology of CrossFit is so beneficial. However, it's capped because this guy that wants to be a midfielder, if he goes and starts playing in a 6-a-side every week and also Sunday league at the weekend, that doesn't mean that because he does that, he's going to be pro one. He then actually does have to start factoring in working on his weaknesses and those specific skills to be the midfielder. So you do actually need a combination, if not very precise work when you're at the top, but that also makes sense.
Yeah.
But to be able to even get there along the way, you've kind of got to do the broad work to get in there. So I think we're probably both on the same side of the argument.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything else you
want.
Well,
I mean, I wrote down some things and I just like, I don't want to skip over them because they're so impressive. And like one of my favorite female athletes, when she did compete, Christy Aramo, she's now Christy Aramo O'Connell. And she does a lot of online programming now for the hybrid athlete. And again, I consider her to be super hybrid, but she was an amazing CrossFitter. She then started doing a lot more running when she stopped competitive CrossFit. Ran a 2:48 marathon. Like, I know there's probably a bunch of the Elite 15 girls who go and run that marathon probably fairly comfortably and can go much, much quicker, but still 2:48 is fast.
I think we've mentioned it before, but Spencer Matthews has got a podcast.
Yeah.
And it's massively, massively trending at the moment to talk about the apex athlete. And there's probably, 10 people, I think it is, in the world that can bench 110 kilos 10 times and run a sub 250 marathon.
Yeah.
Which is actually, on the face of it, you'd think there's way more. But that is a very, very niche skill set. However,
I think there probably are more though.
There's way more.
Yeah.
Because if you actually, the community...
It feels engineered for him.
Big time. 100% it is.
Yeah.
But the community, I think, within CrossFit probably doesn't see a lot of his content because a lot of his content is towards running. But I would say that there is, I would almost go as far as say maybe the top 2% of CrossFitters worldwide could do that. With the right training.
Yeah, I think CrossFit has evolved over the last couple of years, but especially when I started, people who did CrossFit were allergic to running.
Yeah.
And that's why I really loved it at the start, because I came from more of a running background. So whenever there was a running workout, I'd just melt everyone and then get to the barbell and like stare at it for 15 minutes because I couldn't lift it. But it has evolved, and I think it's been pushed to evolve by Hyrox. But like Christy Aramo, she's not going to be able to bench 110 kg, but the female equivalent, if you scale that down, she can run a sub 250 marathon, which is already like unbelievable. I also noted down she can snatch 84 kg.
That's
like that is, there's no Elite 15 girl. I don't think there's probably an Elite 15 guy who can snatch 84.
Just for those that don't even really know what snatching is.
Yeah.
She's basically picking me up, throwing me above her head,
Yeah.
and then just standing up.
Yeah.
Like squatting down and standing up.
Yeah. So like that in itself, I don't know if she was able to do those two things at the same time, but the fact that she's been able to do both of those things shows me how athletic and how much capability she has. And I'm sure she's raced Hyrox. I didn't look her time up. But also the fact that there's so many examples, and I haven't got them all here, but so many examples of people who do CrossFit at a top level who've gone and done Hyrox. Whether they've performed well or badly, doesn't matter. They can go and do it. There's no one on the flip. There's no one, apart from Hunter, which always will have an asterisk at it beside his name because he didn't qualify the traditional way. He got a wild card into the games, which I think is the first time that's ever happened. But there's no one else from the elite field who has competed at an elite level in CrossFit. It just like you can't go and do it like with the click of a finger. And also because you can go to local competitions, but it doesn't really mean the same thing. Whereas like we can go and we can compete at like local Hyrox. It's not the same thing as being in the Elite 15. But there's just no way. There's no way. One of the years, I think it was 2018 as well, the first or second event at the games was a marathon row. So that's so funny.
I can't remember if we spoke about this, but can you imagine
getting to the CrossFit Games
and then finding out, like, not even like, yes, the workout's going to be tough, but they don't have to be that long.
Yeah. But also, I think that was like, you need to test all facets, all domains, to be able to go, this is the fittest person in the world. And I think people getting a bit upset where it's like, you're typically working between 7 and 15 minutes.
Question on that though. Yeah. How much warning would they have actually got?
They were announced on the day.
Because that's a wild thing in terms of your preparedness, is because if I asked you to go and run a marathon tomorrow, you'd be like, well, that's fucked because I've not fueled for it.
Fair. Yeah.
But I mean,
but you could go and do it.
Yeah. Could go and do it.
So I can't remember which way round it was, because they did a run, swim, run event, and then the marathon row, or it was the other way round. But the comp started on Thursday and they went right the way through till Sunday. I think they maybe had one rest day. But even so, like those two workouts, the run, swim, run, and then a marathon row, or whatever way round it was, like the aerobic capacity required to do those things is incredible. And Lucas Elslinger, I think he won the men's marathon row, and it was like, I think I wrote it down somewhere, 2:43. So average pace 1:56 per 500 meters, which is first day, first event. You know, you've got 3 more days. You're probably going to do 20 workouts.
Most people's 1K row time in Hyrox for a rest.
Yeah.
Considerably faster.
Like trying to put that into context, because very few people, if anyone, has done a marathon row. Like that's ridiculous.
I wonder what the marathon row world record is.
I think that's Oh, way
way quicker,
faster.
but
Yeah, but I
they've
think
also,
like
yeah.
I would put that in a similar bracket as what he's done there as running a sub-3 marathon.
For sure.
So it's like probably as it's not as taxing in terms of like the impact and the loading, but mentally and physically otherwise, it's probably as taxing as and as difficult. And you know how
I'd say it's almost more impressive because it's more physically demanding. You're using upper body and lower body there.
but you're not getting that repetitive like smash, 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 smash on your legs and like
Not the same number of repetitions.
yeah.
But you are getting a lot of load pull, back stress.
Yeah, and I think just even the sitting and the boredom,
Yeah.
like it's really, really difficult.
Although I can imagine actually knowing how now that I see the Elite 15 athletes and the way they talk to each other and they have a laugh,
Yeah,
they actually must have been like having a chat.
yeah, a few of them were. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Because you've just got to chip away and get through it and get onto what the number is on the screen as much as possible. Because also in a marathon event, like you're half an hour out from being done, you'll see that you're 2 minutes ahead of the person next to you. So like you're not really racing each other so much. Like you're not going to get that 2 minutes back. You're just going to try and get as close.
I think also it was so early in the weekend that the top guys and girls were looking at it and going like, as long as I just hold my own, I can sit middle of the pack. Like I don't want the detrimental impact of like burying myself.
Yeah, no, not.
To not being able to recover. And in the way the CrossFit Games works, the leaderboard is based off how other people perform. So it's like, we know who the best are coming into it. If I can just sit in and around them, I don't lose too many points. They don't gain too many points. And then we can get over this row and be done with it.
Yeah, for sure. One of the questions I've got for you, which also came from social. With the evolution of the Hyrox athlete, and as we were saying, usually a bit taller, a bit slighter, not looking like a god, a Greek god. Whereas I would say when you look at like CrossFit Games athletes, their build typically is like pretty unachievable for most of the population without that sort of training. Would you rather, if you had to choose, and this was binary, like CrossFit athletes were saying, they look great and they perform great. If you had to choose between looking good in your eyes, but like being pretty unfit versus being hella fit, but just looking so unfit, what would you go for?
Oh, I know how my brain works. So I want to say the performance, but I probably, that's so tough. But I'm still going to be doing what I do now and I still want to compete and I still want to.
Okay, let's say you
retire.
You have a dad bod.
Okay.
Full dad bod, can't lose it. You're not out of shape. You're just not like, someone would ask you if you've thought about going to the gym every once in a while, but you run a 5K in 16 minutes and you bench 110 and you're an apex athlete.
Okay.
Let's say, but you look like you maybe have a gym membership at David Lloyd's and you use it for the sauna.
This is so perverse because it's like, obviously you should be choosing that.
Yeah.
Like the performance element is, but I don't want to.
But also on the flip side, you look pretty good. Like you look great, but you get out of breath going upstairs.
Yeah. Everyone's going to call me out on this, but I'm going to go dad bod on performance.
Really?
I'm probably just going to keep my top on at the Hyrox race.
I'm trying to think, because if you'd asked me this is a key thing. If you asked me this when I was like 18, I'd have probably gone the aesthetic.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
Don't care. Now I'm a little bit like, do you know what?
The performance element's so much cooler now.
Could you imagine? And I'm not someone that's like, all I ever think about is having kids and a family when I'm older. That's not it at all. But like one day I would like to have children. I would not want to be out of breath if someone put my family in danger. And exactly. I don't think the likelihood of that these days is that crazy. But if like I had to run after something, or even if I had to go and run and save my child from doing something stupid, if I physically couldn't do it,
how deep that question got.
But like, how embarrassing would it be?
Yeah,
to be like out and about and be like, guys, can we just take a rest for a second? I'm a bit fucked, but I look great.
Even more embarrassing that you look great.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get that. No, I'd take the dad bod.
Because there was a reel which Danny Ray actually commented on. This was really funny, but it was a guy basically saying how all Hyrox athletes are just wet wipes. I think he was using way worse terms that you shouldn't really use. I'm not going to repeat them, and it went viral.
Yeah,
it went viral. The guy was juiced to the gills.
Yeah,
And Danny Ray commented completely fairly, crazy getting out of breath doing a reel. And the guy stood still and he's out of breath.
Oh, that's
and
such a quality comment.
The Hyrox crew followed and was just like, mate, how are you out of breath standing still? But like, yeah, I think it's actually really tough because I'm like you, I would want to be the performance thing, but fuck, waking up sometimes just constantly being
not happy with the way you look.
Yeah,
I mean, that's an emotional topic that we don't need to go down.
It's like me last week saying I'm really excited to getting lean.
Yeah, we'll say that for our Patreon.
Yeah, I tell you
our
what,
therapy sessions.
Actually, let's transition this into grind my gears.
Let's do it.
And we'll come back before we do our Hyrox predictions. Because grind my gears. I said I wanted to get lean last week.
Yeah.
What did I say? I was going to be the main method of me doing that. I don't even know if I said that.
I don't know if
what was implied.
You're going to do a shit ton of bodybuilding.
No, not quite. Bit more running.
Oh,
bit more aerobic stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if you said that.
So I got into it. I've been doing some easy runs, some like threshold runs where I'm actually paying attention to not going too hard, making sure that I kind of actually enjoy it and then move on rather than getting bogged down in the fact that I don't have a 15-minute 5K time. Went to a fitness session last week that I was invited to. It was cool. Kind of wish I'd left beforehand, if I'm completely honest.
Oh no.
Because I was given some clothes and they just didn't fit. So I had to do the workout and these clothes didn't fit. It was on this treadmill. One of the assault runners. So to like get off, you just like jump off. Problem is they are right next to you. There's no space in this gym. In addition to the fact there's no space between them, that is also the walking channel.
Oh,
everyone to get through to switch between different movements around running. So I'm getting off, and as my foot is going towards the ground, someone else is coming through. So I avoid to not just drop my full body weight onto this poor girl. Unfortunately, what that means is my ankle goes over onto its side.
Perfect.
And I heard it go, oh. And immediately I just stopped and was like,
I'm done.
I'm actually done. And I thought, definitely over exaggerating, even though I've just seen my ankle basically roll over. I've got to go do some snatches. So I walked over, picked up this dumbbell, and literally just by bending over and picking up the dumbbell, I was like, yeah, I'm fucked. I'm absolutely fucked. And knowing how busy this week of work is and stuff for me, like all sorts going on, I need to be on my feet. I was suddenly like, why am I even here? What am I doing here?
Yeah.
And then I realized, well, the whole running thing has also just gone out the window, depending on how bad this is. And I was like, I heard it, so it can't be good.
You've catastrophized this, haven't you?
Awful. And I'm not the sort of person to over exaggerate an injury. If anything, I'll ignore it.
Yeah.
Played games of broken bones, that sort of
thing.
But this thing, I was like, this hurts now. Like, no adrenaline is helping me. This hurts to put weight on now.
Yeah.
I hobbled my way home, immediately strapped it up. Was like, do I put ice on it? Do you know what? What's the point? I'm done. Like, I'm done for like weeks at this point. And I woke up the next day and I was like, do you know what? It's kind of all right in a straight line. Like, it's fine in a straight line. It's been nearly a week now.
Yeah.
It's definitely not perfect. I keep catching it, nearly rolling it again, which is not ideal. But it is genuine. I can put weight through it. I can do like calf raises and bounce on it a bit. I'm not going to go running, but just like forgot that could happen. So basically, my grind my gear is stupid little injuries like rolling your ankle because I forgot that could happen generally.
So annoying, isn't it?
Yeah.
My one then, I'm going to go sauna etiquette 2.0 because a couple of weeks ago, I had that annoying gripe with the door closing.
Yeah.
This is a whole new level. So I'm going to have to paint the scene for you.
Okay.
All right.
I'm there.
I'm in the sauna. I'm on the top deck because I'm pretty serious about it. Obviously, hot air rises. That's the hottest place to be. I've been fighting for my life for like 12 minutes in the sauna, just like melting. Someone comes in, sits on the middle. They've just opened the door, so a load of cold air's come in. The middle isn't actually that hot. And they sit there for about 20 seconds and go, well, it's not really that hot in here. Look around. Does anyone mind if I put some water on? And I'm there like, just give it a couple minutes. It's going to be hot. And obviously, because I don't like confrontation, I go, of course. Chuck a load of water on. And then they do. They start pouring ladles and ladles and ladles, and it gets 15 million degrees in there. I'm still on the top deck, like can't open my eyes because it's so hot. I'm just like, just come in, have a little bit of respect for the people who've been in there fighting for their lives for a couple of minutes. Let it get hot. And then after a couple of minutes when it's not hot, then you can put the water on. Don't just instantly come in and put water on. So annoying.
I found something out this weekend really interesting about sauna places.
Well, is it going to put me off?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
A lot of these sauna and
Because it's my new personality.
sauna and plunge places obviously have got quite popular, but it's actually pretty common. I think that what I was told was once every other day, if not once a day.
Oh no!
Someone passes out in a sauna.
Fine. Yeah.
Just because they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So they go in and just pass out, and then if they're in there on their own, they might not get found for like 20 minutes.
No, that's not cool.
But it's like really bad. So if you're not good at saunas, get off the top deck.
Yeah.
And I
Get
can't
in the
remember what the timing thing is. I know for cold water you should only be in there as long as the temperature by minute.
Yeah.
But then,
But even then, you're probably not doing that.
Yeah. No.
We started like anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes in the sauna, but lots of people do 20 minutes, and then like basically just as long as you can in the water. I went the other day by myself because usually I'm dictated by the other people in the sauna how long we stay in there. Not always, but I did 20 minutes and then 2 minutes in the cold plunge, and I got out and I was so dizzy. I'm like, I'm contributing to that stat at this point. I was like, I need just to take a second.
It's actually crazy.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. I got Grind My Gear that was actually sent in. We didn't cover it last week. This is from Pete.
Okay.
People spitting in public.
Ooh.
It's actually pretty common.
Is this like I'm out on a run and I spit, or I just spit?
Bearing in mind the podcast, I'm going to assume it's like people doing sport in public and spitting, because I do think it's horrible when you're watching like a football game.
Constantly.
However, I know I've been in the situation where I'm like, I've got phlegm or something. I want to run. It's like, what do I do? Well, I would try and find a bush or a bin or something.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I'm not spitting in a bin, but I'm probably like, I'm not spitting on the floor.
No.
I'm gonna like spit in,
and I'm not just stood
in the
somewhere
bushes.
spitting.
That's the worst.
vile.
I'm like you spreading your tuberculosis, which you definitely have, because you're spitting in public, so you're a bottom jawed person. That's actually the worst. You like hear someone like fucking flemming up and then just spitting. I'm like, yes.
But you're not allowed to do it in some sport. Like you would get a penalty in Hyrox if you're seen spitting. That kind of thing. Yeah, crazy.
I think I when that rule was released, I was like, I've seen some top level athletes running down the sled track and just spitting into the middle of the carpet. I'm like, what are you doing?
Extra slip.
But then I saw that rule and I was like, yeah, well, that's obviously a no brainer. Like if you're spitting on the comp floor, you're actually horrible. But then I'm not going to name names. They'll know exactly who they are. And in fact, you're going to know who it is because I raced with them.
Okay.
And we got to I think it was the wall balls or maybe the row. And it was proper like blow nose into hand, wipe on floor job. And the judge came over and was like, you can't really do that. I was like, why does the judge need to tell you that is not socially acceptable, you horrible person?
Yeah, that's not okay. You can't be doing that. I would definitely give a penalty. I saw a video.
Wiping your face on the floor mat.
I saw a video. This is a controversial take maybe, but I stand by it and I'm willing to take any flack. I saw a video come out of New York Hyrox. 2 girls doing doubles. The one who was behind on the burpees was threw up 3 times on the burpee lane. Now, this is the bad thing. Kept within the rules of the burpees by staying behind her partner. So she throws up on the floor, her partner burpee ball jumps forward, so she follows her partner, walks, then throws up again. Same thing happens. So she has not just thrown up, she's thrown up in 3 points along the track. And the caption is like, got through it, had to stay dedicated, wasn't going to let myself quit. And the 1 or 2 of the comments at the time I saw this, that was all it was. Everyone else was like, yeah, go you, like, no quit, everything. 1 or 2 people were like, you're a fucking adult. Like, go to the side, go to the corner, find a bin, tell a judge you're not okay.
Yeah.
Because also, and this is what the other comment pointed at, these 2 weren't on for a world record. In fact, they were on for maybe a below average time. So like, as much as you're hardcore for not quitting, you're actually a horrible person. And you're guarantee you, on the black carpet as well, you don't really see it.
The judges are not going to also penalize you for being sick. Like if you have to go and be sick and not walk behind your partner, it's not the end of the world.
And I assume that that Hyrox was extremely safe and careful, so they probably closed that area of the burpee lane. I can only assume that is what they would do. They wouldn't just ignore it.
Yeah.
But it was right in the middle, in the middle squares of the.
But it's like even without someone chundering all over the carpet, you burpee down and it's like
it's wet with sweat.
It's not the nicest place to be normally. You kind of get over it. But like I've seen people be sick on the carpet before, but like towards the side. And also like I get it, shit happens.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be posting it all over social media with like admiration of like, oh, I'm the GOAT, because I kept running, I kept burping through all my sick.
You're unfit. You've showed that you're unfit because you're throwing up
On station 4.
on station 4. And you just don't have the decency to try and do anything about it. Like you're actually bottom tier person.
Yeah.
You should be banned.
I'm going to do my last one.
Go on.
It's, I really love matcha. You don't love matcha.
No.
You love the vanilla and the caramel and
So
the
this is actually my
flavoring.
argument about coffee in general. I drink coffee.
Yeah.
Charles brought me a coffee this morning.
I did.
It was really nice. But I still only drink coffee. This is childish, supposedly.
You're my grandma here then.
I drink coffee as a mocha if it's cold, for the most part. I've moved on to a cappuccino a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Or
With chocolate on the top.
with chocolate on top, of course. Or I will have an iced coffee and it will have like vanilla or something syrup in it, because that's what I like.
Yeah, but
I don't like coffee.
Yeah, and that's fine. So you're admitting that. You're not going, fuck, I love matcha. And then when you get a matcha, you go, actually, this is disgusting because it tastes of because it tastes of grass. It's the matcha is the vehicle for the sweetness. You don't love matcha and you don't love coffee. You like the sweetness. I'm like, get a child's drink then.
The thing is, I only see one benefit of coffee.
The stimulant.
Just caffeine.
Yeah.
So
you're not into the taste.
the taste of coffee, not great. Basically soil at the end of the day. And also you get awful breath
You do,
after coffee. And I hate that.
Yeah.
I can't enjoy a coffee because I know afterwards I'm getting punished. And that, honestly, people can look at me and be like, oh, you drink energy drinks. Yeah. Tastes like lemonade if I get a good one. And afterwards, I don't stink.
Yeah, I get you. I'm not judging you for not liking it. I'm judging the person for
No,
saying.
I agree.
Right.
I hate when people lie saying they like it when they obviously don't.
Yeah. Or the perception of what a matcha is this like sweet sugary drink. No, it's like it's blended up grass.
Yeah. It literally is.
It's for cows.
Silly. You have actually put another one down here, which is empty stadium seats at the World Cup, but this ties back to what you were saying about the Knicks game prices, because that was a once in a lifetime event.
Yeah.
You know, people were like, I'm never ever going to see this again. You'd hope for their sake that they kind of don't at that cost. But the World Cup ticket prices are so stupid.
Incredible, yeah.
Thousands of dollars for the worst seat with restricted view.
Yeah.
To go and see Ecuador or whoever it was, Curacao, someone lose 7-1 journey.
Yeah, I know.
So stupid.
I think also as well, you could apply for the tickets, but if you applied, you were forced to buy them if you were fortunate enough to get the tickets.
Yeah.
So I've heard stories of people applying for all of the England games because they're like, oh, we're not going to get all of them. And they're like a couple, like 500 quid per seat. And they've gone, oh, we'll get 4 seats. And they end up paying like 10 grand because they get lucky in all of them because no one else actually wants to go and see them. And you see, this is why this state should have never had the World Cup, because there's no interest.
No, not at all.
Unless it's like Scotland or Ireland.
I would say that the United States' interest in the World Cup is like when the NFL comes to London.
Yeah.
Like people just go because it's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But not because like,
or there is like a very small hardcore group of people. Like NFL fans in London are so hardcore because the time just sucks to watch the games. So then you can fill a 100,000 capacity stadium one time or 2 times. But when you've got 15 games across 4 days, no one wants to go. And the stadiums are freaking massive anyway. Yeah. So it's just like, it just looks bad for the sport. And yeah, the whole thing just looks a bit childish, like the broadcast and the production and whatever, but we'll see.
We need to go into a massive relevance for the city. We've mentioned it already, but this week is the World Championships for Hyrox.
Let's go.
We need to do our predictions. Now, rather than doing what other podcasts have done, which is do the whole 1 to 15, there's no point because we'll never be right. We're not going to be right anyway, and we're going to stick to the top 3.
Sure.
We'll start off because we'll go through the races in order. So we've got the women's solo Elite 15 race. In the lineup, we've got Alyssa McElhenney, we've got Calypso Sheridan, we've got Emily Darman, Gabrielle Nicole Baker, Jess Petro, Joanna Beatrick, Lauren Weeks, Lena Putters, Linda Meyer, Lucy Proctor, Morgan Schultz, Seka Arning, Sinead Bent, Stephanie Oswald, and Vivian Tafuto.
So there's so many good names there.
Very, very good names.
Yeah, it's heated.
Interestingly, someone that I don't think any of us would have predicted to win last year was Linda Meyer. She's not in great form by the looks of it.
No.
She wasn't last year and she won. She took Joanna Vitric down, which was the big
There's
surprise.
been like a long time as well since the last major, like when for some of them when they've raced. So like we haven't seen them racing, so they've been putting in some graft, I assume.
So who are you calling for your top 3?
I really want to back the British girls, but I can't look past Joanna. So I'm gonna say Joanna wins because she's just been on such good form. She hasn't lost this season. She gone like clean sweep on all the majors.
Done
Like
Grand Slam, yeah.
I'd love to see her be that dominant again and win every single. That'd be cool. I think Lauren Weeks probably has the best chance of pushing her, even if it's not actually that close. So for me, it's between Joanna and Lauren for the top step. So let's put them 1 and 2. I like Darman. I also like Tafuto is good because she's going to be running with Lauren in the doubles, isn't she?
She is.
But I want Sinead to do well. I'd like to see Lucy Proctor do well. Lena Putters, Linda Meyer. I'll just say let's put Vivian Tafuto in 3rd.
Okay. I actually think there's a chance that Joanna doesn't win, just from like the way that sport is in the season. But she is so dominant and so clear. I have to put it.
It's never guaranteed. But
so I'm saying Joanna wins.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing. I think Lauren Weeks comes 2nd. However, 3rd, I think, is going to be a fight on the wall balls.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I think 3rd comes down to Sinead Bent and Seka Arning.
Oh, that's a really good shout.
And I think Seka Arning comes 3rd. I think her wall balls are better.
That's a really great shout.
No shade on Sinead whatsoever, but I think watching this season, Sinead has been fantastic and won the EMEA regionals, which
she's had a really good season.
Yeah, but then in Warsaw, Seka looked solid. She looked really solid, and I think she's still on her upward trajectory.
But again, there's so many like undulations and like
so many, and
the environment.
I wouldn't be able to predict. I wouldn't even try and predict
times or whatever.
4th to 8th.
Oh no, that would be like.
Away.
I think just because of the occasion, it's going to be more close and hotly contested than normal.
Big time.
But it's fun because I said this for majors in Warsaw, but it's like I'm really excited to watch it.
Yeah,
I'm really jealous you're going to be there. But...
yeah, I'm really excited for the men's race because I think the men's race could be. I think you could write all 15 out in the most logical order, and then it could be the reverse.
Yeah. Wait, is this? They'll both be Friday night?
But no, these are both Thursday night.
Thursday night. Oh, that's good for me.
Thursday. So Alexander Ronchevich, Charlie Bottrell, Cole Learn, Dexter Buchanan, Dylan Scott, Hida Veersma, Hunter McIntyre, James Kelly, Louis Ossolea, Luke Greer, Rich Ryan, Sebastian Efferson, Sean Noble, Tim Beanish, and Thomas Verdit.
Again, it's so...
That is insanely stacked.
It's stacked, yeah.
So, I mean, realistically on there, I think we've got 7 or 8 people, men, that have won an Elite 15 major in the last 2 years.
We've got a couple of like ex-world champs.
Yeah.
The current world champ.
Yeah. I mean, we've got Alex, Hunter, and
Tim,
the last 3 world champs, and they're all still in the conversation, probably for the top 3.
Yeah.
You've got Danger Men, I would say.
World record holder as well.
Yeah. Well, world record holder is Alex Ronkovich.
Oh, is it? Wait, what record was broken in London?
So Hida broke the world record, and then Alex beat it in Warsaw.
Fine, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So yeah, Hida Veersma is a danger man for me. I think James Kelly on his day can be a danger man. Dylan Scott can be a danger man.
His swag's so bad. He wears knee pads, man.
Yeah.
That for me, I'm just like, I don't want to put you on the podium.
Yeah. Takes his shoes off for wobbles sometimes.
Didn't Cole Learn come from a CrossFit background? Did I make that up?
No, I think so. Cole had a bit of a strange background. He's recently started YouTube and he goes into like an addiction phase. So I don't really know what he was doing before.
Oh, interesting.
But I think another danger man, obviously I'm going to say this, but Charlie, if he has a good day, honestly do anything. I think that's a really exciting thing about him. I mean, he's in an underdog era.
Yeah.
But you could get some crazy performance by someone like Sebastian Efferson and Luke Greer.
I saw Luke Greer's got the fastest run splits of anyone this season. Like his running's phenomenal. So like he could be carried by that. I just don't know if he's got the strength from the stations. But then again, like anything can happen. Penalties can happen. And if Luke Greer is within touching distance and there's some penalties, it's going to have to be a clean race. Like you can't count Hunter out, despite what I said earlier. Hida, like he's incredible form.
So
Ronk as well.
Go on then. Give me a top 3 if you had to.
I'm gonna say Ronkovic.
Okay.
And I'm in two minds because I think Tim will also push him. I think Hunter's going to go out hard and like make it a really horrible race for everyone. So like I know Hunter's going to be up there. So it's so predictable and it's so boring. And I'd love to back the British guys more, but I'm going to say Ronk, Vinish, McIntyre.
Okay. I think
McIntyre could even win it. Like
he could. Yeah, he could.
He's just like so hard to call.
I think it's going to be a little bit different. I think Ronk, Hunter, and Tim will go out hot.
For sure.
I think Tim will let them
and
go. Sean will always be in that conversation. I think Tim will let them go.
Yeah.
I think they'll battle it out.
Reel
and
them
I
in.
think almost a bit like when you're watching the breakaway in a Tour de France, you've got peloton catching up. I think the front of the peloton will be Tim
and Luke.
Hida.
Oh.
Possibly someone like Charlie if he's having a good day. Possibly someone like Sebastian Nixon.
Do you know what? If Ronkovic and McIntyre go hard at the start, obviously Sean Noble's going to go with them. I reckon someone like Luke would also go with them because, like, yes, he's going to be left on the stations, but he can
run. I think as a result of that, it gets spicy towards the end of the wall balls. I think that we actually see someone beat Alex and Hunter
and just slide
it
in.
Could be Tim that comes through.
Or Hida.
I think Hida and Alex are then second and third for me.
Iverson as well. I can't. We've not even mentioned James Kelly, which is mental. But I think
at the moment he's just he's doing a bit of James Kelly on social media, and actually that was one of my grind my gears I forgot to mention. Hunter McIntyre breaking every record that doesn't matter under the sun.
Yeah,
guys, I managed to get down my stairs 0.2 seconds quicker than I ever have done before. If that's not a metric for my VO2 max being 3% higher, I don't know what is. But yeah, like I that's kind of how I see this race going.
Yeah, but also like Charlie, like you can't.
You genuinely cannot.
He looks like he's training hard. And
behind the scenes, there's a lot going. There's been a lot going on this season with Charlie. I think he's finally in a good position with his fitness to feel confident enough to do something again. It's how it all happens on the day. I think that's going to be the case for so many.
I messaged you, didn't I? I was like, God, I've never seen him in such good shape.
Yeah,
like he looks really, really dialed in, and I'm really excited.
I think that's the thing for Charlie. If he can feel confident in that shape, he's in for race day. I think that's going to be the difference. If he doesn't feel like he's there, then that could be the thing.
Well, I hope he gets there and he's like he just appreciates the occasion and the position he's in, and just like I said to you at the start, it's like you're the top 15 best athlete in the world. Jeez. Whatever happens, do you know how? I think it's over 1 million people have competed in Hyrox.
Yeah.
What percentage are you? Like you're not even 1%. You're so good. So it's like if you'll be able to look back on this season and go, yeah, I'm really incredible.
Yeah.
Whatever happens. So, but we wish him all the best for sure.
For sure. Same for everyone else in that. But now we're going to look at the women's doubles. So the following
this
day,
category is so good.
So we've got Joanna Vietrich and Jess Petro. We've got Zara Piergiani and Gabriella Moriarty. We've got Margot and Charlotte Vandelinhoff.
Yeah.
Vandelinloof. I've always screwed that up. Sinead Bent and Lucy Proctor. Dana Lau and Vicky McIntosh. We've got Seka Arning and Manuela Garcia Caparros.
There's so many good ones.
Lauren Weeks and Vivian Tafuto, Melina Maurer and Jennifer Nicklaus, Catherine Farsbender and Morgan Schultz. We've got Alandra Greenlee and Chris Roglowski. We've got,
here we go,
Ida Mathilde Steenskaard and Ellie Stenfors. We've got Meg Martin and Calypso Sheridan. We've got Charlie Searle and Lauren Stockley. We've got Jade Skillen and Kat Parnell. We've got Varna Lebenstedt and Viola Overlander.
I'm very glad that you decided to read those out. But the crossover between the girls who are racing solo and doubles, like the depth is incredible.
Big time.
Both across the women and the men. And I'm like, you keep on listing more people.
That
and
being
I'm like,
said,
that's a cat within the amongst pigeons.
That being said, I only think there are really 2 or 3 strong pairs here.
So you're going to put Lauren and Vivian?
I think Lauren and Vivian are my number one.
Because they've broken the record, I think, every time they've raced together.
However, Joanna and Jess, to my knowledge, have only raced together once this season, and they qualified.
Yeah,
And
Joanna's just so class.
Yeah, and Jess isn't slow.
No, she can't be.
So I mean, I think those two will battle it out. I do think, honestly, having seen in Warsaw, Lauren and
Charlie.
Vivian.
Oh,
Lauren and Vivian, sorry, Laurie and Vivian Tafuto racing.
yeah.
Vivian looks so bored in the pain cave. However, I know that she's at max capacity, and I don't know
How much more she
could give.
Yeah.
So if they end up in a dogfight with Joanna and Jess, I think Joanna and Jess.
But then it just demonstrates to me that Vivian is just a hustler, and she like locked in and just looked at Lauren's heels the whole time. Was like, "You're not getting away from me," and I can go really, really dark. But so much of this success will ride on how the solos went. If Lauren wins the solos, there's either less motivation to do well here, or it's given her so much confidence. Same with Vivian. It's like, if she performs really well, they're like, oh my God, we're so good. Let's go and actually smash it. Whereas like, and if Joanna doesn't win the solos, then she's even more motivated to push hard here. There's so many different, like, because this is after, right? This is second. But I'm going to say I want Charlie Searle and Lauren Stockley on the podium.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's going to be the top step, but I would love it for them to be that. Like, they're probably my favorite two there. I'm going to put Lauren and Vivian on the top step. I'll then but then Sinead and Lucy, like, they could pull it out of the bag, have a good race. Nah, I'll put Joanna, Vitrix, and Jess on second, and then Charlie and Lauren Stockley in third.
I think I'm following you, but rather than Charlie and Lauren Stockley, I'm putting Sinead and Lucy.
Really?
Yeah, I think I've just through all of the races, Sinead and Lucy have been faster and pretty considerably faster.
Yeah.
The other two, however, they've raced together less.
What, did they race together in Warsaw? No.
They didn't race. So the last time that they both raced was in the Elite 15 EMEA when Laura and Charlie got disqualified, but they would have finished like 45 seconds behind them anyway.
Be a great battle. Really
great
good.
Battle.
Yeah,
really
yeah.
Good. Now on to the men. I think this is probably the headline race of the weekend for me.
Really?
Because I think that it's so exciting. At what we've got here.
I've just seen all the names. Yeah, I'm buzzing.
Ronkovic and Vinish. We've got James Kelly and Jake Dearden. We've got Hidde Veersma and Thierry Willenberg.
Huge.
We've got Charlie and Ollie Russell. We've got Peter Mize and Tom Fransons. We've got Jeremy McConnell and Fabian Eisenlauer. We've got Jake Williamson and Hunter McIntyre. Rich Ryan and Paleo Fernandez. Gustav Cordua and Sebastian Efferson. We've got Dylan Scott and Stephen Pelkofer. Luke Greer and Harry Thompson. James Newbury and Dean Slough.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah. Martin Enhoven and Louis Osselea, Martin Lecorne and Xavier Dufour, and Marco Nicic and Alexis Bernier. Now, straight away, there's a massive gap between the front and the back here for me.
Yeah.
But the top two are going to be incredibly exciting to watch. And I think the top two that go out hot is Ronk and Tim against Hunter and Jake Williamson. Both of them are world record pace. However, that being said, the world record, I can't remember if it did get broken this year by Tim and Ronk.
Yeah, it did.
But the previous world record holders, and they said they wanted it back, is Rich Ryan and Pelayo. Now, I don't know if either of them are in the shape to do that, because Pelayo's not even been in the solo Elite 15 qualification at all this year. But that's interesting. Outsiders that I think are strong contenders still, James Kelly and Jake Dearden.
Can't
always
well.
going to be great.
Yeah.
Hidde Veersma and Thierry Willenberg.
They were
in
incredible.
Every single race they've been in together this season, they've done incredibly well.
Yeah. In Warsaw, were they racing together? Because
I think they did.
They'd had a really good race.
And then Dylan Scott is always up there. Luke Greer and Harry Thompson, I think, unfortunately, that's not the best pairing, so it's not going to work too well for them. However, again, depending on what happens in the solos race, Charlie and Ollie could be scary contenders. Inside knowledge, and I can say this hopefully a day out, I don't think it's going to change anything too much. I know that Ollie Russell is running some of his best running ever.
Yeah.
And that's really what he needs for this, and he's feeling pretty confident. I think Charlie, like we said, is in a really good fitness position. Kind of depends how he feels after the first day. But I would, for me, order them. I think Alex and Tim win. I think that comes off the back of Hunter and Jake with a penalty.
Really?
I think it's tight enough that the penalty causes the discrepancy towards the end. Like they know that they're 15 seconds behind, so they can't do anything about it. And I think third is really, really tight. But it's either James Kelly and Jake Dearden for me, or it's Charlie and Ollie. And I think it totally depends on the day.
I really don't want it to come down to a penalty.
I couldn't agree more. There's nothing I'd love less. However,
It's just shit happens and they're pushing so
I
hard.
think that's the thing. They're going to have to push so hard to stand a chance of coming, and
Ride the line.
stuff happens. And we saw that with Hunter against Tim in Melbourne. Hunter was really riding the line and got two 15-second penalties off the back.
But if James Newbury wins it, that just
Closes our debate.
closes the debate for everyone.
Yeah.
I don't think he can though. But it's like I said, he's an ex CrossFit Games athlete. He's in the mix there.
What I was just going to look for, I don't think on our site that we've got here that the relay teams like wrap up has been announced.
Oh,
The
fine.
starting,
Yeah.
but
They always switch and change, don't
yeah.
they?
Well, I'm not going to spend too long on this. I think if we're looking at Team England, it's a good team. So it's captained by Charlie. I think I'm trying to remember who else.
The Jakes?
No,
Really?
it's Charlie. It's Lucy Proctor. It's I think Kat Parnell, and I can't remember who the other guy is. It could be Luke Greer.
Wow.
Could be, but it's all done based on your highest points average. So as an example, best athlete in Hyrox, Joanna Vietrick, isn't in the Australian team. She's not raced enough this year to qualify for the Australian team in points.
Seems a bit.
So they're without her.
Yeah, silly, isn't it?
Which is silly. So I think the relay for me is a bit of an afterthought this season. So
I'm sure it is for the top athletes as well.
It matters because they get prize money.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of our outlook on the Hyrox
Exciting.
space this week.
We'll have a debrief, I reckon, in our next episode.
We have a quick game to do. I'm aware of timing a little bit, so we will speed through it. I won't do too many questions, but it's a quiz.
We've got to hide it because my elite level eyesight will be able to see it.
True, yeah. Okay. This one, I think you're going to do pretty well on this. But this is a CrossFit versus Hyrox quiz.
Oh no.
Okay. So we're going to start off with one which I'm pretty sure you're going to get straight away.
If I get these wrong, it's going to be embarrassing.
Is this the average run time this season for a sub 60 men's pro Hyrox? Or is it the world record Murph time?
Okay.
32 minutes, 41 seconds.
Murph world record, yeah.
Unfortunately, I thought that was going to be a great question otherwise. Okay.
It would have been.
Next question. You have 4 answers and 4 people.
Cool.
And you need to put the times next to the people.
Okay.
The times are 18 minutes 30, 18 minutes, 16 minutes and 7 seconds, and 16 minutes and 23 seconds. The athletes are Jason Hopper, James Sprague,
Oh no.
Jake Dearden, and Dylan Scott.
Is this their 5K time?
This is their 5K run times.
Okay, I'm going to go.
So I can give you the
It was
times.
Dylan Scott.
It's Dylan Scott,
I'm going to put Dylan with the fastest 5K time.
16 minutes and 7 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I'm going to put Jake with the other 16 minute.
16 and 23.
I'm going to say James Sprague is faster than Jason Hopper.
So 18 minutes and Jason Hopper 18:30. You got them all right, apart from Jake and Dylan are the other way around.
Oh,
So Jake
really?
16 minutes and 7 seconds 5K, and Dylan Scott with a 16 minutes and 23 second.
Oh, wow. Sorry, Jake.
Yeah.
That's solid.
Next question. 50,000 athletes. Is this the number of supposed athletes that competed at the New York City Hyrox, or is it the number of athletes that participated in Murph across North America?
Ooh. I don't know if that's a metric that would have been collected. How many people did Murph in North America?
Through a CrossFit affiliate, I should say.
Okay, interesting. New York Hyrox was the biggest ever in terms of like days.
I think so, yeah.
I think they did some like weird press thing where they lit up the Empire State Building. I was like,
Really?
That's mad, yeah. So knowing that London, with their funky facts in terms of who competed and participated, there's roughly around that many athletes, I think. The fact that you've said it's affiliates means you might have. I'm just going to stick with my gut and say that's how many people competed. No, maybe there were more. I've second guessed myself. It's how many people have done Murph.
It's not. It's the number of people that competed at Hyrox, New York City.
Always stick with your
However,
gut.
I will say there's an asterisk here because I don't know when that number was pulled. If it was pulled by tickets sold, because I don't know if you saw this, and we should have reported on this last week. Did you see that New York City Hyrox got shut down one afternoon?
Really?
All tickets, you weren't racing. So there was a storm or something like that that rolled in, and all waves beyond, I think, 5 p.m. were cancelled. People had flown in.
Was that a stipulation in the ticket, though? There must have been some like T's and C's.
In the T's and C's, what you are offered is you're offered a voucher for another ticket.
Okay, fine.
But obviously people have flown to New York to compete.
Yeah, it's really shitty.
Didn't get a chance to.
But also, like, it's the weather. Like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
I can argue either way. It's really it's sad, but...
If you did it in a convention center, you wouldn't have to deal with that problem.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right, okay. Next one. Is this number the number of athletes competing at the Hyrox World Championships across all races?
Mm-hmm.
Or is this the number of CrossFit affiliate gyms worldwide?
Oh, nice.
9,900.
It's affiliates.
It is affiliates, correct. Okay.
It's sad because it's only recently dropped below 10,000. So
I feel like you're still going to be quite good at these. We've got 3 more questions.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Is that the average sled push time for the Elite 15 this season in the men's? Or is it the men's world record for the Fran workout in CrossFit, which is sled 21, 15, 9 reps of thrusters at 95 pounds?
Sled push.
It's not. It's the world record. It was set by Jason Kalipper in 2008.
I want a recount.
By all means. I mean, I did a Google search.
I think Noah Olsen has the record for Fran.
What do you think it is? Sub 2?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Google's let me down then. Okay, next one then. 6 minutes and 42 seconds. Is this Matt Fraser's personal best 2K ski time? Or is this Alex Ronkovich's first wall balls attempt?
Oh, that's a nice question. 6:20.
6:42.
I think Matt probably can ski faster for 2K. Because I wouldn't be that close to Matt Fraser in a ski. And I can believe that the first
What's
time...
that average? It's like a 140 for 2K.
Yeah, it's low 140s. I think 145 is 7 minutes bang on.
Right.
So yeah, close to like 142, 143. I'm going to say that's wrong with the wall balls. Shut up.
Correct.
Is it?
Yeah, well done.
Thank God.
Okay, the last question, and I feel like I'm going to get recounted on this potentially as well, because I've just Googled for both of these options. Okay. 5 minutes and 59 seconds.
Yeah.
Is that Hunter McIntyre's 2 kilometer row time?
Oh, nice.
Or is that the women's world record for the Jackie workout?
Ooh.
Do you want to say what the Jackie workout is? I haven't got it written down.
This is like a really good nerdy test for me. 1,000 meter row, 50 thrusters with an empty barbell, and then 30 pull-ups.
Yep, correct.
So Jackie for a near mortal's probably closer to like 7-ish minutes. I've done Jackie a bit quicker. I think 6.5 is like a really good Jackie time. You're going unbroken probably on the thrusters and the pull-ups. 5:59.
5:59.
I can probably believe Hunter can get close to 6 minutes, but like going sub 6 minutes is elite level rowing. I don't think he's got that. So I'm going to say it's Jackie. But then they may be going quicker than that for Jackie. 5:59 is fast. Oh, I'm going to stick with my guns and I'm going to say it's Jackie.
You're correct. It is Jackie.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's the last question.
There you go.
You got it right. You did well at that. I knew you did
so few people are going to be impressed with the fact that I can just reel off the girl benchmark workouts like that without any context.
It is quite impressive to be fair, because especially because I've seen when I was looking these questions up, I was seeing how the records have come down so much.
Yeah,
as well. Just in like, I think it was when I thought I'd found the record for Fran, and it said 2 minutes and 4 seconds by Jason Clipper in 2008, which I can kind of understand would be beaten by now because that's getting on for 20 years.
2008, yeah. That's like the early days.
And at the time it said even some of the best, like Matt Fraser, have only done this in 2:06.
Wait, go on Google now, because I think the world record's actually Noah Olsen, and I think it's closer to a minute.
Men's world record, Fran workout time.
Here we go. Everyone's on the edge of the seat.
So here we are. You use the same search engine and you get 2 different times. Yeah. It's crazy. Men's world record is held by Noah Olsen. It is 1:49.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see that on YouTube. It's a really good video to watch, and it's only 2 minutes of your life.
I'm trying to think now. Yeah, sled push average elite time you would have known, because they're not doing that in 1:49.
No. Yeah.
Well, there we go. So that rounds off the episode. We'll see how correct we are with Hyrox. If you guys want to argue anything about our Hyrox versus CrossFit debate, then please do. We love a little bit of confrontation when it comes via the internet, rather than to our face. But please do let us know on that, and let us know if you've got any other grind my gears. If you want to reach out, it's at mindsets_podcast. We do also want to say a massive thank you to Hyrox for being affiliated with us. So if you are interested in using the code, Charles is going to pull them out here. Grip socks. We'll see so many of these at the World Champs this week, just purely from having that extra additional grip inside your socks, but also other race gear from High Style. It's the same code. Use mindset15, get yourself 15% off. And get going the right way into the next season, I think it's fair to say. Guys, if you haven't already, hit subscribe, hit like. If you could follow us on Spotify, or just make sure that you've got some sort of subscription on anywhere you are listening, that is massive for us. I say it every time, but it is genuinely so true how far that can go. It does mean that we get more opportunities to work with different brands and get you better opportunities to work with those guys as well. Plus, if we're going to be doing some sort of events and things around our 100th episode, we need people to help us. So if you can hit one of those buttons, that helps us a lot. Anything else from you?
No, I don't think so.
I think that wraps up episode 93. I hope there's a fun fact about episode 94 when we get going. But either way, I look forward to seeing all of you guys in